Hi everybody, it's Robin from Uniquely Robins. Today we're going to work on the front of our book. I did go ahead and do the inside just so far in because the rest of this will be covered, so I'm not worried about that. And this is our front because it's a little smoother, and this is our back because it's really rough. I have some black paint, has some dark gray and some light gray, and we're going to kind of dry brush this on here. And I want more coverage of the black than the other two, so we'll start with that. I have this brush here. I don't remember where I got this from. It's from Waverly. I think I got it at the Walmart, but I'm not positive on that. But these make really good brushes for dry brushing, and they're very good chalk paint brushes as well. I kind of mix my paints. I don't really stick to any kind of rules or regulations. I probably should, but I don't. The black I have is jet black, and it's apple barrel, and that is from Walmart, and I think it's like $1.99 or something. And then the grays that I have are from Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those two. I can't remember which one exactly. They're just some sample pots that I got that we were going to paint our front room gray, and I wanted to see what color that I wanted. So both of those are Belspar, and they're both from there. I have a dark gray and a light gray. These little sample pots don't cost a whole lot, and if you're using them just for crafts, they last a really long time. So you might want to think about that if you're thinking about getting paint for things. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our black. But before I do that, I wanted to show you everybody that put their comments below on what cover paper that you wanted me to use. I really appreciate your inputs on that, and it seems like between the YouTube channel, Facebook, my email, some people emailed me, some people messaged me what they wanted me to use, and overwhelming, the most popular one was from Chaos to Order. So that's the one we're going to use on the front. And what I have done is I have taken this, I know a lot of people like the burnt look, and a lot of people do it with ink, and you can do it with ink if you just take your, see if I can find me a scrap piece of paper. If you tear toward you, like I always tell you, if you tear toward you, you get a bigger core showing, and you can just tear around it like this. I thought I stuck that in the paint, but I didn't. And use this is called black soot ink, and you ink it like that. You'll get that burnt kind of look on it. But if you're very careful, and I can do it on this page here too, it gets a little darker on the outside edge. Anyway, you can do it that way, and it looks just fine. Personally, I think if you are very careful, I always take a thick piece of paper towel and wet it really well, and keep it right beside me. And I just light it with a lighter around the edge and let it burn just a little bit. And then I take my wet paper towel and put it out. I blow it out, then put my wet paper towel and put it out. I actually do burn my paper. I like the look of that. I think it looks so much better. And this is what we're going to put on the front. And it'll go, something like that on the front. And we will decoupage this on. I do believe we are going to decoupage that on there. But first, we need to get the soot off of there. Real soot. First, we're going to dry brush it because I don't want it to be red. I just want some of the red to shine through, not a bunch, but just a little bit of the red to come through. So I'm going to start with the black. I'm barely tapping it in there, and then I'm going to tap it on my paper towel because I don't want a lot at a time. It helps you control it a little bit better if you just do a little at a time. Sorry about the noise too. I'm going to go through where I'm going to lay that, but not a lot in there, because I don't really want to waste the paint for somewhere there's not going to be, but do want to do some because I don't know till this dries exactly. And I can pick some more back up off of my paper. I'm gonna dab and rub. And how you do this depends on how much you actually want to show through. Get some more. Try not to push it too hard, especially when you first get your paint on there, or else it's going to be darker than you want. You can always add paint, but you can take some off, but it's really hard to get it where you want it if you do that. So just want a light coat on to begin with. Get some more paint here. I want it to be darker than that. As you can see how it really brings those wrinkles out, and I love that look. And I like how our strings are not straight across, and they kind of stick over, and it just gives it such a cool look. Start in the middle, that way I want some red to shine through, but I don't want a lot of the red to shine through, so being kind of liberal with it. Then it's kind of a taste thing, how much or how little you want on there. As you can tell, that really brings those crinkles and wrinkles out so much. Okay, now I'm going to set that aside a minute, and I'm going to go and get some of this darker gray. Always starting where I know I'm going to be covering that up anyway. And I can brush some of that on there, especially in the corners where a lot of wear would be. Just give it a little texture. You control where you want your paint to go. Kind of looks like kind of cobwebby. Pick up a little more paint here. I just want here and there, here and there. And if you get to a spot, say I have a little too much gray there, just go back over it with my darker color and tone it down some. I don't want a lot, just kind of a hint of it, a little much there. You can always tone it back some, you can bring it out more. Even though that's underneath, it's gonna bother me. There, that's better. Okay, I'm just gonna use the same brush instead of dirtying another one. I'm gonna get just a little bit of this lighter gray. I'm gonna brush quite a bit of that one off. Just some highlights here and there. I have a little piece of this that's sticking up, and what I will do is I will glue that back down, or hit it with a little bit of decoupage or something. when dry brushing, it dries pretty quick. I guess that's why they call it dry brushing, because it dries quick. Okay, I think I want the middle there to be a little darker, so we're going to go back to our black. I don't want so much of that red sticking out. You just want to build your color. Sometimes it's hard to tell when to stop when you do this, because it's fun. I just wanted to look like an old witch's book. Alright, I'm going to go back to my gray. Very lightly on the top, just going very lightly. Just to put a little more of that back in there. Just kind of play with it and have fun. I really like that. I think we need a little more around this edge. This technique works good too for like tree bark branches. Let's get a little of the darker. Excuse me. I did remember my coffee today. Don't forget your edges when you're doing this, because you don't want a stark red or black edge there either. And don't forget your inside. So we'll go back to our black. And it's just, you know, the very top here that you're really gonna see, but we want to make sure that it looks the same as the rest of the book. Oops. Stuff falling over everywhere. I need to take me a day this weekend and clean my craft room and get it organized again. I'm gonna make sure I got my edges. Sound like a wounded dog outside or something. Weather's been really weird. It's been really nice one day and then back to cold the next. Hope you can see see this. I want to hold it up like that. It's kind of hard to tell what I'm doing. Okay. Now we're going to take our gray. Just a little bit. I don't want a lot of on the edge, but some. Just kind of dabbing it on there. All right. Now we'll get our gray around the outside edge. Won't be able to see the true aspect of this until we get the paper on the inside, and it'll look better. See a little bit of the lighter gray just here and there. Keep my hair out of it. Trimming the dog the other day and kept getting my hair in the way, and Barry's gonna cut my own hair off. Darken this up a little bit. Being sure to hit that side too. Okay. Not a painter, not ever saying that I was a painter. I wish I could paint, but I can't. But this is just kind of easy to do. Okay, so we have that. Looking pretty decent, I think. Kind of witchy. Okay, so now we're going to, if I can find it, let me get this paint out of the way first, or else I'll end up having it everywhere. I've had this paint for a couple of years, so it lasts a long time. I think I got that on there crooked, but at least it's on there for now. Better try that. Okay, well, it's on there. All right, let me set this paint over on my way. Back in the paint basket. This one I'm just going to stick up here out of the way because I don't want to knock it over. Okay, now I have this Ibex stuff that I'm going to put down through the center. I'm going to make it a little shorter. So it's a little longer than I want. And you can cut this stuff with your trimmer. But it's really hard to rip, so that's going to give us a lot of sturdiness right here in this spine area. So, go ahead and put some glue on that. And you can use double-sided tape for this. I know some people were saying they were trying to get art glitter glue, and it was like $18 for the glue and the tip, but it was like $40 for shipping, which shipping is just getting outrageous. I get mine on Amazon, but I have Amazon Prime. I pay $100 a year for, so I get free shipping, which is well worth it for me, as much stuff as I get from them. Darn it. It's not a big deal, but pushing it down in those creases. really well. Where's my bone folder? And of course, as always, make sure you remember to clean your brushes right away. I've done a whole book once before where I did that burn technique too. Well, it's not really a technique, it's just burning paper. But I burnt all the pages in it, and it looked pretty cool. Now I'm going to run a bead down, well, if I can get it on there right beside where I attach this. And your best tool you got, your finger. That way it gets it pushed up underneath that edge and on top of that edge, so it's not going to go anywhere on us. Hair there. Hair's falling out everywhere. Okay. And this is coming up a little bit down through here, so I'm going to... Of course, my paper's going to hold that down too, but... You know me, I like things to be sturdy. If you make them sturdy, and every step, it's going to be extra sturdy when you're done. I'm going to go right along this edge, especially in my spine area. I do know somebody on Etsy has an Etsy shop, and they sell the art glitter glue. I can't remember. I know I bought it from them once before, and it was fairly cheap price, which I was surprised about. But I can't remember who it was. So if you search, if you're having trouble finding it at a decent price, try searching Etsy. Maybe you can get a cheaper shipping price there. Or Scrapbooking with Me lady, Edith. I'm pretty sure that's, yeah, Edith is her name. From Scrapbooking with Me, I'm pretty sure she sells it too in her shop. So you may try that, get it cheaper there. But you don't have to have art glitter glue. I mean, Elaine's Tacky Glue works. There's so many glues out there. I just like the art glitter glue. But, you know, there's other glues. And we're just working with paper mainly, so... Okay, I've got me a couple more pieces of the red, because I'm going to put that down on my inside first. So I'm going to measure out how I want it to lay. Where'd my pencil go? Oh, there it is. I want it to be just over that a little bit. So I'm going to say about right there. And I'm going to make it go clear over as far as it will go the first time, and then I'll add the other piece on the other side. Or am I? Let me think a minute. Because I really didn't want the seam in the middle. I think I'm going to go over just overlap a little bit here. So it's not so bulky, but I really don't want my seam right down the spine, which normally is what I do if it's an outside one. Okay. And this is cardstock. You can use regular paper. It doesn't have to be cardstock, but I use cardstock for most everything. And again, it's that sturdiness thing with me. I don't want to make a product and sell it to someone and then have them have problems with it right off the bat. I know any product after wear and tear is gonna, break down here and there, but it should be a while. Like, a while and be, you know, very loved and well used before that happens. So I try to make sure of that. Any possibly way I can, anyway. Now this is not even down through here, so what we're going to do is burnish that really well to get down in all them little cracks and crevices. I really want to squish that glue out so it adheres very well. Sorry if I'm shaking you. I mean, we don't want it to look like a brand new book because we're trying to make it look like an old book, but we still want it to stay. We want it to stay on. And I always go around my edges and squirt some glue down there. Especially on this kind of a book that it's way uneven on the edges. You want to make sure that edge is stuck down there pretty good. I'm not worried about that so much because we're going to overlap that a little bit. Yeah, to look like an old book, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but it also helps you to get any little edges that are flipped up. Kind of like a kid with your finger paints. But I truly do believe that the best tool you have is your fingers. I'm just wiping at this, but I'm not wiping it off because I want it to dry on that. And it'll dry clear, so it's not going to mess up your little paint job. Okay. And I'm going to go under here just a little bit. Make sure that it's sticking down. All right. And again, this is that neem paper that I like so well. Terry from Sweet Pea Papers told me about this paper, well, cardstock, and they have it in lightweight, medium weight, and 65 pounds, 90 pounds, I think, and 110 pounds. And it's really not that expensive, and I really like the feel of it, and it's nice and sturdy. And it's pretty much all I use anymore. It comes in different colors. I'm not sure what all colors, but white, gray, red. I'm not sure what any of the other colors are because I haven't really looked for any, but okay. Make sure we get lots of glue around the edge. You want to be able to, a lot of times you don't want your glue to squish out, but with this I do because I want to make sure that it's in there good. And you can just put your inside paper on there if you want to. I mean, that's up to you. I just like the extra sturdiness that it adds when you add more. And don't forget, when we put our spine and our pages in here, that's going to be even extra paper. So it's going to be a nice, heavy, sturdy book, which is what we want. I like how that came out. Squeezed it out. Went there for a while where I kept losing my other bone folder. It was driving me crazy. And since I moved upstairs, I haven't really had that problem, but Oh, it's in there. I just didn't see it. That's the one I really like. Funny how you get your favorite tools that you like so well. Okay. All right. So, gonna bend it up. Make sure we have our paper down in there good, and we'll still be able to close our book. Okay, right there. You wanna that's where we cut that other book out. Make sure that's good. Okay. So again, when we put our pages, so make sure I got the top here. I don't. I guess I could just look where I wrote it on there. Yeah, that's the top. So when we put our spine in here, we're going to be gluing this down. So we'll have another piece actually on there of this paper. So that's good. All right, now let's go back to our front here and put our From Chaos to Order. Let's put that on there. That's gonna look pretty cool on there. I like it. I always wonder because things come in my head and I see it there, and then when you go to execute it, you'll hope that it comes out the way it looked in your head. Pretty close. All right, we're going to decoupage this on. I was going to say, if my hands are working enough, I can. I'm going to put a liberal amount of this underneath because I want to make sure that I get in all them little cracks and crevices, and my paper softens up and gets down in there too. Kind of generally going. Not sure where the paper is going to land, and I'm also going to put it on the back of the paper. So this does take, when you use this much, and like I said, I did water mine down a little more than probably needed to, but it didn't seem to bother it any. I'm going to put it on the back of the paper too, that way I make sure that I get it on every spot. See my ashes coming off. That's okay. All right. It's a messy process. I'm not worried about it being on the front because I'm going to put it back on the front anyway. Doesn't really need to be back there, but I kind of squished it everywhere, didn't I? All right. See where and how I want it to lay. Make sure I'm squishing it out all the way around because I want to make sure that it adheres well. Oops. I wanted you to go over a little bit. You didn't have to go crazy on me. Excuse me. I had water coming in our basement. I didn't realize it was coming in there. We had some boxes stored down there with some household stuff in it and some books, and they got all wet. Of course, it sat down there before we realized it was leaking over there. been down there trying to clean up that mess, and I think I got mildew down in my lungs or something. I think that's what all the coughing's been about the last couple of weeks. Been down there trying to get that taken care of. Now this won't hurt your paint because it's going to dry clear. It might smear it a little bit. You might want to do some touch-ups afterwards. You just have to see, but it won't hurt it badly. Now this is going to have a little bit of a, what do I want to say, haze to it when it dries, because I did burn this, and putting this on here is going to pull some of that sooty color out. So, but that's fine because it's a witch's book. We want it to have a little haze to it. All right. Let that dry. How are we doing on time? Okay. Make sure I wash all my paintbrushes out. Now I'm going to set this up on something so that it doesn't stick on this side since we have it done. Let me get one of those little ink boxes. I save these ink boxes when I get them because they come in handy for setting stuff up on, and really going to have to give my pad a good cleaning. This thing's about, I don't know, 10 years old. Maybe older than that. And I can see it's kind of got a red. I don't know if I didn't get all the paint out of my brush or if it picked up from here, which it will do that too. But that's fine. I'm not worried about it because of what this book is. However, got a little bubble right there, and I don't want him. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. And once you get it covered, you don't want to keep going over it and over it and over it and over it until it dries, because otherwise it'll mess your paper all up and you'll get big wrinkles and big bubbles. I just let it dry. I know it's hard not to mess with it, but just let it dry. And once it's dry, if you need to put a second coat or you want to, then you can do that. Set it over here to dry well. And I have cut out my pages for the inside. I have to ink those up yet, which I will do before I do the video. I'll probably try to do it later today. And I have all of the ephemera cut out to go in. And I took some of the pages, since I printed extras out, and cut them down into tags, and those are going to go inside our little pockets here. And I'm trying to decide one thing I didn't do was put my ruler in all my pockets, but I don't think we had a problem. Now, but these will all be tags that will fit down in the little pockets on all the pages at the top. And we will go from there. So I will go ahead and get this stuff inked up, and then I'll come back later and this will be tomorrow's video. My husband has a procedure tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and do tomorrow's video today. So we'll have that one done. I will probably end up having to do one on Sunday this week, which I don't mind, because I want to make sure that you see the full project. And I missed a day this week due to some family issues, so I will make that up on Saturday and Sunday and get that done for you. But we'll go from there. Show the ladies below some love. Check out those groups that are listed down there. Some awesome people in there. And they have some awesome tutorials that will help you out also. Go up to Kelly's Crafts by Kelly on Etsy and check out her kits. This is her digital kit called Witch's Cauldron. She has several of them up there and they are just beautiful. I know you're going to love them. So go up there and check. And she also has a YouTube channel that she might show you some tips and tricks on things to do with her kits that you might not even thought about. So check those out as well. Thank you for spending some time with me today. Please like and subscribe my channel. I really appreciate that. It helps me out a lot. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.